my mom was like, how are you going to pay your bills? And I was like, well, if I need to, I'll just start selling some shit.
You know what time it is. Welcome back to the First Off podcast. I'm your host, Andre Nichols. I got my guys with me, the Holy Trinity. We here. Take it away.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Ty, Houston, Texas. Y'all know what's going on. We got something special for y'all, man.
Hey, y'all know who it is. It's Quavo from the VX. We got something special, man. Y'all stay tuned.
Yes, sir. We got my guys in the bag. We got Law and we got merch on the ones and twos. We got a very, very, very special guest here today, you guys.
Absolutely.
This is special. This is very big. This is 14 years in the fight game. Currently ranked 7th in the UFC PFP rankings.
Let's go.
And she is the current UFC Bantamweight champion.
Let's go.
She's a mother. She's a wife. She's a friend. She's a Colorado Springs native. Please put your freaking hands together for Raquel Pennington. Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby. In the building.
Sir. Yes, sir. We appreciate you. I cannot tell you or stress you how much this means to us. You're doing us a super solid. Please let us know how you've been, how you doing, everything.
I've been good. I've been chilling. I'm enjoying vacation.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Fight camp was long, so, achieved the ultimate goal. And
That's right.
That's right.
Tisha's getting ready to make her return after having the baby, and so I get to play mama and just hang out.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mama
you calling
with hands.
shots now.
Yeah.
That's it.
You calling shots now.
That's it, man.
Straight up.
That's it. We got a lot of things lined up. We got some questions we want to get to it. We got some comments that we want to address. We want you to address.
Right.
We want you to, excuse my language, we want you to talk your shit. When you get up on here, please.
Right.
Please, anybody you got beef with, anybody you want somebody to know it ain't sweet, let us know. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Quavo.
So let's take it back. Before the belt, before the fame, how was it growing up in Colorado Springs as you're growing up? How was it? Give us a little picture of that.
Awesome. I mean, I love Colorado. I love everything it has to offer. I'm an outdoors girl.
Nice.
Nice.
So whether it's summer, winter, spring, fall, I'm always out there doing something.
Okay.
My family's here. I'm super family oriented.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Having that support. I graduated from Harrison High School.
Okay. Shout out Harrison High School.
Shout out Harrison High School.
Heck yeah.
Okay, my boy Ty, the football coach over there.
Yeah. Varsity. Yeah.
I played sports growing up. Always been a huge tomboy.
Nice. No wrong with that.
None at all.
They called me, it was funny because growing up, my nickname was Raquel McDaniel. I used to run around I don't know why the guys came up with that, but they called me Raquel McDaniel. I was the quarterback. We would go play football on the pavement.
Icebox.
Yeah.
Icebox.
For real. Icebox. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
That's what's up, man.
That's what's up. That's my next question. Where did the nickname Rocky come from? And how does it feel to have the entire state of Colorado embracing it and addressing you as such?
So Rocky, I mean, with being in fighting, everybody's like, oh, perfect, Rocky came from fighting, but it really didn't. Volleyball.
Okay.
In high school, my volleyball coach was trying to yell at me, and my name is R.A., so Raquel. But she kept calling me Raquel, and one day she was just really pissed off, and she was trying to yell at me, and she kept stuttering rock. So then it was Rock for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And then from there, it just became Rocky, and then when I got into fighting, they were like, hey, do you have a nickname? And I'm just thinking my normal nickname. Everybody calls me Rocky, so I was like, oh, Rocky.
There it is.
Didn't think twice about it, but that's how it
dope.
came about.
That's dope.
Wow. So
And it's stuck.
Yeah.
So growing up in Colorado, when did you begin to take fighting seriously, and what was it that drove that for you?
Fighting didn't happen until after high school. I actually broke my back, so I didn't take any of my athletic scholarships. I took an academic scholarship to UCCS.
Okay, nice.
And then I think there was a point in life. I have a cousin who's 5 months older than me. We grew up. They called us Chippendale. We always fought, but I never actually grew up fighting. I want to say around the age of 12, one of my friends, her dad was a boxer. Her brothers were boxers.
Okay.
And so at one point I asked my parents if I can box. They're like, no, you're too pretty and your teeth are way too nice.
Okay.
So I was like,
Nice.
okay. Continued doing all the sports. And then, my mom and I were just at the gym. I was going through rehab. I was trying to gain some strength again, trying to find my way. And the first team I started with was when, do you guys remember Bally's Total Fitness?
Yeah.
So
back in the day right there.
that's
not my age. You know what I'm saying?
All
So
right,
we were,
brother.
working out in one of the back yoga studios on the like little 1/4-inch puzzle mats. They're back there doing judo, wrestling, jujitsu. So I see these guys slamming each other every which way, choking each other out. And I was just joking with my mom. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go do that.
Right.
And surprisingly, she was like, all right, let's go talk to the coach. And I think she just thought it would be like a good avenue to like kind of get me out of the slump I was in.
Yeah.
So we went and talked to the coach, and he gave me the rundown. He's like, come in tomorrow. So I went in. My first training session ever was sparring. Had no clue what I was doing. He hands me some hand wraps. I'm like, I don't know what to do with these. So I just like start doing all this weird stuff.
Shit.
And I'm like, all right. I jump on the mats, and he's like, you could take your socks off. And I was like, like, it was just all really weird. It was a different world. And,
Definitely.
you know, with sparring, I'm a person who loves challenges.
Right.
Definitely challenged me. So I fell in love with it, and I kept going.
Nice.
Okay.
I got you. All right, so when this really became the dream for you, were your parents like, okay, go get it, or were they like, wait a minute, you're too pretty in your teeth? But when you really felt like, Mom, Dad, I think I'm really gonna do this, like, you know,
So-
you're gonna have to see some things you're probably not gonna want to see.
Yeah. My mom's always been supportive. She's like, you know, whatever sets your heart on fire, like I'm there. She picks me up. My mom's my best friend, so it's just she's been there from the beginning. I will say, when I came home and I was like, hey, I'm actually gonna fight a fight, she's like, yeah, no, you're not. And I was like, but I am. Here's the flyer. We're going to Wyoming. And she's like,
We're going, Mom.
Shout out Mama Rose too, man.
Yeah,
Shout out Mama
exactly.
Rose. If she wasn't as lean as she was, we wouldn't have it here. So appreciate you, Mama
that
Rose.
woman, she's been a trooper. She supported me from the beginning. She was actually my weight cutting buddy. Like she's done it all.
That's dope.
My dad, on the other hand, he wasn't very supportive, and it was kind of funny because, you know, I thank him now and I give him a hard time. He's so supportive now. But he would give my opponents all the credit, and he would like sit here and hype them up, and I'm just like, dude. So it almost like just like
taking away
motivated me
from
and
what
drove
you're.
me.
Oh yeah, an extra
But
chip
I
on
was
your
like,
shoulder.
let me show you.
Yeah.
And
Right,
then,
but they not.
Yeah, and then
what I am.
you know, he lectured me because once things started to progress, I was like, oh well, I'm actually gonna quit my job. And my mom's like, how are you gonna pay your bills? And I was like, well, if I need to, I'll just start selling some shit. And she was like,
Right.
okay. And she's like, all right. Like, she was just gonna let me figure it out. And when I told my dad that, he lost his mind.
it, yeah,
He's
as he
like,
should.
As a dad does.
As he should.
As a
As he
dad
should.
does.
Right.
You know?
But he's
shit.
like, and you know, there's no offense. Every job is super important out there. But he was like, you're going to be the freaking manager at McDonald's flipping burgers for the rest of your life. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Right,
And I was like, okay, I'll show you.
I'll show you.
So that was
some more fuel for you.
that was
So
big
he
fuel.
just, you know, he was like my fuel from the beginning. And then I started at a time frame that like this was not popular for women. So
Right.
I fought some of the same women. You know, I had to go to Wyoming a lot to find competition. You didn't hear female fighters.
Right.
And then I remember saying back then, I was like, I'm going to be one of the first women into the UFC. And people laughed at me. And they're like, how the hell are you going to do that? And I was like, I have no clue, but it's going to happen.
Facts.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what, I was one of the first 10 women to
Wow.
ever sign with the UFC.
That's what I'm talking about.
So with that being said, clap it up. So with
That's
that
what I'm
being
talking
said,
about.
with
That's
that
what
being
I'm
said,
talking
I just want to caveat off of what you said. Shout out Mama Rose because she is a great lady.
She is.
You understand?
Yeah. She is.
She is.
We appreciate you more than you know. Trust me,
Absolutely.
we really do.
Absolutely. So moving on, early on getting into the UFC, can you take us through the process of being in the Ultimate Fighter competition? How does that work?
So it's changed now. And I mean, Tisha's season was completely different. She was the one and only all women season. Probably because her season had way too much damn drama. No one wanted to see that again.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
got it.
But with Tisha and them, Dana actually called them. He pretty much bought. So like a lot of us women, we came from Invicta Fighting Championships.
Okay.
Which, Shannon Knapp, she's the president of that, and like she just created a platform where women's MMA, like it was one of the biggest stages. that we can actually be on. And she's one of the ones that like, she just wants to see each athlete do the best that they can and like really excel. So when UFC announced that the Ultimate Fighter was going to happen, I was under a multi-fight contract with her, and I talked to her, and it was, you know, I mean, you usually can't break those, but she's like, no, listen, like, that's the next step. If you get there, like, but if not, then you always have a happy home.
That's dope.
So
that's really dope. Shout out to her.
That's a good deal.
Yeah. So Tisha fighting at 115. Dana called most of the 115ers from Invicta, and he pretty much bought the division.
Okay.
And then
Wow.
he paid them to sit and not fight until that season was ready.
Wow.
For my season, they announced it. It was the first time they were going to allow women. It was half guys, half girls. And so we actually drove to Las Vegas. I went through what seemed like freaking 24 hours of tryouts. I think it was like,
Wow.
I want to say like
That's
close
crazy.
to 13 hours of tryouts. You had to
That is
go through,
crazy.
do like personality. You had to show your grappling skills. You're in a room with, I mean, everybody wants this
Right.
opportunity.
Right. Absolutely.
So there's hundreds of people trying out, and they would randomly just call your number, and you have to perform in front of them, and it just people keep getting eliminated through the phases, and then
Wow.
there turned out to be 16 women that got into the house. So then with that, they give you a call back.
Right.
When the show gets ready to start, you actually have to fight to get into the house.
Damn.
So then I had to fight to get into the house, and then I was
Literally
Stay in the
fight
house.
to get-
yeah, I was
literally
locked
fight
in the
to get
house
into
for 7 weeks. We got
With 16
no-
women?
There was 16. Shit, I don't know now. Hold on, we gotta look at this.
That's a lot of estrogen. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, that's
Well, there
all.
was guys too. So
Oh,
we
okay,
actually had
okay.
a really chill season.
Okay.
There were 16 total of us.
Okay,
right?
okay.
I don't know.
That-
I gotta go
that's
back.
all right.
Now I'm like, I gotta go back and look.
Yeah.
Nah, don't worry about it.
But so then I fought to get in the house. We got locked in the house for 7 weeks. We had no phones, no music, no books, no nothing. Like no
Damn.
TV.
Wow.
Because they really force you to have to interact with each other.
Really?
Yeah. And so and then like we're all wearing these necklaces, and the necklaces are actually microphones. You have cameras everywhere.
So they catching everything.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
wow.
to go back and watch that season.
I remember
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, man, I gotta go to the restroom. Like, I don't want,
Right.
there's
Do
a
I-
camera, and I'm like, what's this camera? And they're like, listen, we can't see certain things, but we obviously sign like waivers and everything.
Damn.
So then I would take my necklace off.
Right, right.
They would lecture me, and I'm like,
To go
dude,
to the
what if I
bathroom?
want to take a shit? You guys want to be in there
Right,
with me?
right. Like,
That's
Nah,
crazy.
yeah,
And
that's
they're like,
crazy.
keep it on. And so then I would just sit there and like always mess with this damn mic.
So that's what they hear.
Yeah, you have no privacy.
that's crazy.
No,
Yeah,
that's wild.
it's a really interesting experience. But you know, I mean, all you do is get to focus on what you want to do. So I mean, all you're doing is training, you're fighting, you're eating, you're sleeping, you're living with a bunch of other athletes. You're learning their dreams and their ways, and it's a really cool experience.
Yeah, I imagine that type of intensity and focus, you know, helps everybody dial in a little bit.
For sure.
It does, but it's weird
Being
coming back
locked
into
in a house
reality.
for 7
Yeah, no
weeks,
shit.
I
where-
imagine.
It's
like,
real weird.
Yeah.
Nah. So you got to the semifinalists, correct?
Yeah.
Semifinalist against let me say her name. Jessica Rakosa?
Rakosi.
Rakosi.
So close.
Rakosi. Okay, Rakosi.
We wanna get these
We're
right.
gonna
We're
get them
trying
right.
to
We're
get them
gonna
all
get them right.
right. We're trying to
Please,
get them
I
all
promise
right.
you to anybody that's watching this, I am not butchering y'all names on purpose.
Right.
So take us through that. How you get to the semifinalists? Take us through that. Take us through some what you wish you would have done better. What you take away from it, and just let us know of that.
You know, I'm proud regardless. Everybody's
what's up,
journey is different.
That's
And,
what's
you know,
up.
a lot of people are like, hey, you have to win the Ultimate Fighter in order to get into the UFC. And that was not my journey at all.
Not
but
at all.
I've been the most active for my season. You know, I've had a lot of successes. I won fight of the season on the Ultimate Fighter.
Okay.
And during
Okay.
that fight, basically like one of the greatest fights in history at the time, Forrest Griffin versus Stephan Bonner. Yeah,
That was a great
they
fight.
compared our female fight to that fight. So it was
Nice.
like a huge ordeal.
That's what's up, though.
But in that fight was the first time I ever like got cut. So I took my first set of stitches in life. I had a fractured forearm. I had
Wow.
a broken hand.
Damn.
It was it was an experience. And in the house, I mean, 7 weeks, right?
Right,
So
right.
that happened, and I had to fight 2 weeks later.
No
So
shit.
like I wasn't training. Dana at the time, he like we don't get phones.
Right.
But production calls me over there and they're like, hey, like here's a phone real quick, and I'm like, what? And they're like, here. So I talk, and it's Dana, and he's like, what do we need to like get you feeling better?
Right,
So
right.
then he had every headgear you can think of. And I went into the office, I grabbed some headgear. I was trying to like train with that, trying to like tape my eye all weird so I wouldn't tear my stitches open. One of the chiropractors that would come in, like I would
process.
kind of just like bite on a towel and he would try to like basically keep my hand aligned.
Oh no.
So when I went into that fight with Jessica, like, I'm getting ready to walk out, and they're
Right.
like, "Oh wait, you can't go in there and fight with stitches." So before I push through those doors, they're cutting my
They cutting
stitches
your
out.
stitches out?
So I'm like,
Damn.
okay.
Yeah, no.
And then I go out there, and I ended up taking another cut on my nose because I just like I kept like trying to defend myself funky, just worried
Right.
about different things.
Protecting
and so,
that.
Yeah, I mean it didn't work out, but hey,
That's
going
all right.
out there and still working through that, like.
I mean, it's a testament to your name, Rocky. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everyone. We talked about it on the last part. Anybody who's seen the movie Rocky know that Rocky, man, it's a different kind of animal, and I think that is dope for you to take on that name and actually. Your fighting, your record, your 6-fight win streak, all that literally speaks to the actual your nickname. Right. So I think that's dope.
My coaching staff actually, like, one of them, Antoine Burton, he's my strength and conditioning coach. Mm-hmm. He actually used to play in the NFL, and like he's just like he's a big passionate dude about everything. But he's like, man, crossing paths with you, learning your story, training you, being around you. He's like, you legit are like the real life Rocky, the female version.
That's dope.
Wow.
That's dope.
So it's pretty cool.
Hey man, stop playing around and get this woman a statue, okay?
That's right.
No, for
all right,
real.
stop
Right.
playing.
Colorado
For real.
Springs.
Yeah, come on now, stop playing.
We need a statue.
So I read, this is a question we talked about a little bit before we started recording, but I read you took a year off from fighting.
Right.
I did.
How did that affect you moving forward? And let us hear about that.
It wasn't a year I wanted to take off. I actually, the ups and downs in my career. So being on The Ultimate Fighter, my coach on that show was Misha Tate. And then I ended up fighting her in 2016.
Okay.
2 weeks before that fight, I tore my shoulder.
Damn.
So then I went into reconstructive shoulder surgery after that. I had about a 15-month layoff, and then kind of came back. There was a lot of ups and downs in there. And then the year off, I developed a thyroid issue. The doctors, we were all trying to figure it out. UFC's working with me on it.
Right.
And then I seen one of their doctors. They were trying to balance my hormones, figure out my thyroid. They put me on a medication. Come to find out, like, it's illegal.
Right.
So we're not allowed to take testosterone.
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
And
Got it.
you need like a high dose of testosterone for performance enhancing.
Okay.
They literally gave me 4 milligrams to just try to show my body what it should naturally be. Yeah, because I didn't produce any testosterone.
Okay.
And I got suspended off of that. And
That's crazy.
because I came forward, as they said,
Right.
I just called to do my TUE, thinking that it's fine. The doctors are working with me.
Right.
But because I came forward, they gave me a retroactive suspension.
Okay.
So otherwise, I would have been suspended for over 2 years.
Oh wow.
Oh, well.
Damn.
Okay.
That
and in
sucks,
fighting, like,
That takes
your
a lot.
window is not very long.
Right.
So,
Right. And it kind of stains on you a little
Yeah.
bit too.
for sure.
Right. So, okay. So,
That's messed up.
no, it is.
Like for real. Like it's
It's
crazy.
frustrating.
It
for
shouldn't
sure.
have been any
Right.
time unless
Right.
you wanted it. But,
For sure.
Right.
it's where we are. So if I'm Raquel Pennington, how does fight day and fight night look? And are there any jitters? Because, playing sports, being athletes,
Right, we
every
feel-
game we're like,
Right.
let's go get to it.
Butterflies,
Let's go get to
throw-ups,
it. But
any
fighting
fight
is
day
something
rituals.
totally different, and it's
Right.
not a team sport.
Right.
So,
It's all individual. It's on you.
yeah, it's it's an emotional roller coaster. I always say that this sport is 90% mental, 10% physical.
Okay.
It's kind of
I
one
like
of those
that.
things to where you can go to the gym, you can take all your vitamins, you can do your workouts, but if your head and your heart ain't right, it does not matter.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, fight week, just the obligations, they keep you busy and stuff. But when you're constantly just having to talk about the fight, go through the fight, it's
Right.
exhausting. So I get exhausted during fight week. And then, you go up and down with the nerves, the emotions. I think the biggest thing is everything that I always tell like the younger kids around me or like my athletes and stuff is, first and foremost, you got to have fun.
Right.
And on top of that, you're always going to have nerves. And the
Right.
nerves, like, instead of interpreting them as a negative thing, like, it's just understanding that your body's prepared. So I think preparation is a
that.
big key of, kind of keeping those nerves at bay and, like, being able to navigate through. But you're getting ready to go into a fight. You're going
Right.
to
Yeah. No.
you're
Yeah.
gonna get
No.
locked
At the
into
end
an
of the
octagon.
day, it's like you gotta. you got to let it know you about to get punched.
Correct.
You about to get hit.
So there's a ton of emotion. You know, there's usually my mom braids my hair, or when I'm getting my hair braided, I get more emotional with my mom, so I cry.
That's fine.
I cry with
That's part of
Tisha.
it. That's
Tisha
part of it.
cries.
It's part of it.
I'll cry with the coaches. Like, a lot of emotion comes out. Like, there's
go to war.
passion behind it.
Go to war.
And so there's just, it's a lot. And, you know, I mean, getting ready to take that walk, like, I still have not been able to find the words. And I think if you talk to any fighter getting ready to walk out there, like, it's one of the most, like, thrilling, exciting, scariest moments that you
All at
can
once.
ever
All at
have.
once.
That's
Like,
literally my neck. I was about
That's
to
a
caveat.
tough balance.
That's about my
That's a
caveat.
tough-
I was
yeah.
like, so you're literally walking out the cape. You got your mouthpiece in, your hair's braided, you got your gloves taped on.
Right.
What's in your mind? Like, you walking right to the octagon, it's about to go down. What is in your head? Do you have any type of?
Usually, like, so I wear my headphones. I'm listening to my actual walkout music, but kind of just tuning out the noise of the
what is
crowd.
that?
Are you
What is
listening to something on the walkout?
Yeah, so I'm
Okay, that's
listening to
dope.
the actual music that's playing in
That's
the arena.
playing in the arena.
But I'm
okay.
tuning out the crowd.
Gotcha.
Okay, okay.
That's fire. That's fire.
Just so that way I can kind of like get my thoughts together and
That's
just kind
fire.
of think and stuff.
That's fire.
You know, and then I don't know, like, it's a lot of emotion. Like, part of it, you're in the moment, you're trying to take in the crowd and stuff and just kind of like see what's going on. The other part, it's like remembering our game plan. The other part, I'm praying.
Got you.
There's a ton of stuff going on.
Gotcha.
So
Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, I'm gonna be very transparent with you right now. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Okay, are you cool with that?
all right.
Okay, here we go. So if I'm just keep it. I'm gonna be honest. So if it's possible, not even if it's possible, let's just say I'm gonna give you a hypothetical. Let's say you're out in Denver, right? Not even in Denver, just anywhere. You at a convention, you're somewhere, and you see a certain somebody. I'm not gonna say no name, just that opinion. And knowing that there have been words exchanged, that rivalry stems back a long way.
Right.
And do you feel some kind of way? Is there an on-site type of thing? Is there like, okay, me and her got to exchange words, or is it like, how does that work? Do you kind of just go your own way? Do you like, what is it? What? Let me know.
Listen, when I first started this sport, every athlete had respect for each other. It wasn't
Right.
about shit talking, cutting each other in the ground, like
Right,
playing this
right.
whole part that it's becoming now. Like that's a new entertainment aspect of it.
Got you.
You know, a lot of people, we talked about ourselves and we respected the other warriors out there. Because at the end of the day,
That's
a fight's
what's
going to
up,
speak for itself.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I wasn't raised to sit here and talk shit, so I never will. There are just some people that you cross paths with and your personalities don't go together.
Got you.
Juliana is one of those ones, and she's like a tick that has gone really deep under my skin. She gets on my damn nerves. But, you know, I've been at multiple events with her. It's funny because she sits there and runs her mouth, says all the things, but when we're in person with each other, she doesn't even look my direction.
Oh,
So,
There it is.
I just, you know, I mean, you talk shit, and like I said, the fight's going to speak for itself. If we're out there, I mean, if I cross her path or whatever, like,
You just go ahead and do your thing.
yeah, there's no high, but I'm not going to shit talk unless you
And I like that. I like
approach me
that.
with
You
some
guys,
dumb shit.
you guys are competitors. I like
Right,
that.
right.
I'm getting from you that you're not ducking no smoke. You're not ducking no smoke over here.
I never have.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that completely. And I think that is. I just, you know me. I like to. I want to get the most authentic and organic response, and I
Or
want to
you
know.
want to start some shit. I don't know.
He might.
Stop. No, I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
So, when you have your wins and your losses, and I know that there's a high point and a low point, and you know, more focused on. I know maybe when a win is a win and you feel great, but when you take that loss, right? Like how do you feel? How is your
question.
body? How is your mental? How is I gotta shake it off. Do I comeback is real? Like how do you navigate through that?
So this sport is honestly the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
Okay.
You know, and then just being on the biggest platform, being vulnerable to the world. You know, obviously social media is a huge thing.
Right.
You catch the heat from the rest of the world.
Right.
It's kind of, you know, there's that iceberg effect. People get to see what's above the water, but they don't see what's below.
Okay, right.
And then just kind of attacking the individuals, like it becomes a lot. But I think the biggest thing, you know, I mean, I became a world champion because I've sat here and I've climbed because I've climbed multiple mountains. You know, I've fallen so many different times, and I think that's the important part. Like, how do you get back up?
Right.
And are you going to get back up? And that's what, you know, that's going to define the route that you go. For me, it's just, you know, I go back to the drawing board and it's like, okay, like I don't like the way I felt on that, or I could have done something different here, or, you know, so, I mean, it's just, there's a lot that goes into it, but it's another day. Like, I'm not going to let it define me. I'm going to correct my mistakes from there.
Nice.
And then I'm going to climb higher.
That's nice, man. I like that, for real, seriously.
So, into the nitty gritty of the fighting, right?
Yeah.
I read that your decision percentage is around 70 to 72. So I wanted to know, is having a high level of stamina something you pride yourself on? And I mean,
I need to start knocking people out.
I
have like insane.
I was gonna say, go ahead.
I have insane power, like insane power. I've knocked out a few of my guy training partners on accident.
Okay.
Hey.
You know, I fought boxing. I've done some boxing matches, knockouts. But I don't know. Like, I don't know what the hell it is. My coaches constantly yell at me on that. Yeah. There's moments in the fight that I see something and like, I don't know. That's something. That's actually my ultimate goal, to break a habit.
Right.
But I mean, shit, I definitely hold the record for the most time in the octagon there. And
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we read that. We read that.
Talk your shit.
With that, I was saying, like, are there some fights you can look back on and say, that shouldn't have went to decision. I should have got her out of there quicker.
Yeah, my world title fight.
There.
Oh, there you go.
Preach.
Well, look, you won. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's that iceberg effect.
That's right.
So much more happened before that fight that, you know what, I conquered the ultimate goal. And the fun part of how fighting is there's going to be another fight, and that fight can look completely different. So
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, like, people can talk all their shit, but I'm super proud of myself. I'm doing what I need to for me and for my family.
That's it.
And that's where I'm at.
At the end of the day, like, people are going to come, and I've noticed that just from watching, just from being privy to the interviews, people are going to say everything. You got the belt. So at the end of the day, road comes through you.
She's calling shots. I said it already.
Let's be clear here. Like, they can say whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. They can make comments. The road comes through Raquel Pennington. Let's be clear on that.
That is true.
Go ahead, Quavo.
So with the record that you have, and you are on a hot streak, and you're on a winning streak, how do you make sure that you don't kick in place? How do you make sure that you're still on top of the mountain? So like that, when the next fight comes, you know,
it's honestly striving to be my best self. I have to be better than I was yesterday.
Correct.
And so that's something that I'm always pushing to achieve. And the goalpost is always moving. It always moves.
Yep.
So I conquered this, and now like, what's the next goal from there?
Right.
Nice.
So that's just kind of my mind frame with it all.
Nice.
Understood.
I love it.
After winning a huge victory.
Oh, and having fun.
Oh, that too. Yes.
Having fun.
Yeah.
You have to have
gotta
fun.
balance.
If you're
You
not
gotta
having fun,
balance
it's
it.
The
not
moment
worth
it
it.
starts to get stressful, you got to go ahead and cut it on out of there.
Correct.
After winning a huge victory, or winning a title, how much time do you take in between matches? Is it time for a relaxation period? Do you go party? You go crazy? You and the wife?
I mean, it might be a healing.
Yeah, healing time. It depends on how bad the fight was. Take us through that.
So, yeah, like you said, it just depends on how the fight was. Specifically for this one, I am currently doing some rehab. My shoulder's messed up, so I got stem cell mid-camp just to kind of get me through there, and now I'm taking, the proper recovery. My wife, Tisha's making her comeback after 2 years with having the baby
Shout
and
out
stuff.
Tisha. Shout out Mama
So-
Tisha.
Wait for the comeback.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so I'm having fun right now. I will say, though, and this is the first time probably aside from my close family and friends, UFC did call me and try to tell me that I was fighting June 1st, which is my daughter's first birthday.
That's dead.
It's not happening.
Yeah, that's
and
dead.
So it's not happening for multiple reasons. For one, I need my body to be healthy.
Facts.
Yeah.
And then for two, I need the time to my family and stuff.
facts.
Tisha, it's hard when I just finished a camp. Now Tisha's going to be in a camp.
Yeah.
And then not even 3.5 weeks after that, like I would go into another fight. So I'd be in camp with her. It's a little too much. And so.
Agreed.
Yeah, and we're defending this thing. It's not going nowhere. So everything, look, whatever you need, take that.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's been a lot of dialogue. You know, ESPN analyst and host of the Pivot podcast, Ryan Clark, he had some words after your victory and even mentioned they should consider
But what
scrapping.
does he do?
Right.
What does he do?
What does he do?
He's a retired football player.
Okay.
Right.
Football,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Hey,
No, but
Raquel, talk.
he's analyzing fighters.
Talk.
Right.
And sitting here and talking all this shit, and he hasn't been in our shoes
At all.
at all.
So he doesn't even have the credentials to speak on that type of stuff.
No, but you know, he got a position and he's on a platform where he sits there and he feels like he can talk.
Right.
And that's what cracks me up is like, you have so many people who hide behind these microphones and hide behind the camera or the computers and they're talking all this shit or they're out there on ESPN saying stuff, but they've never lived in our shoes
Right.
for any moment. They've never competed at the level we're competing at. And you want to sit here and you want to talk shit about athletes that we go out there and we put our lives on the line
Absolutely.
for entertainment of the other people.
Right.
I mean, we do it. We're passionate about it. But then you want to sit there and criticize and talk shit. Like, you have no place to talk shit. And on top of that, I don't care who you are. I don't care what any fight looks like.
Right.
Like, anybody that's stepping in there, whether that's freaking boxing or MMA, like, anybody who's out there and, like, cracking each other and trying to hurt another individual, they deserve respect.
Absolutely.
Point blank.
And it's a different level of respect because we just mentioned it, that anyone who does any type of fighting for a living
Yeah, you gotta be.
is an anomaly.
Yeah.
They're a different individual.
Yeah,
you
sure.
know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, like you said, it needs to be respect on that, no matter what.
That dude's a knucklehead. So.
It's all good. It's all good.
Like,
It is all
it's
good.
crazy.
We've already addressed that one, so we're not even gonna go into that. We've already know that, you know, like I said, I watched the interview where Juliana Pena made her comments, and you've already addressed it. We're not ducking no smoke. You're not ducking any smoke. You ready for that fight? That's cool.
That's a fight I've been waiting for since 2013.
That rivalry stemmed from
The Ultimate Fighter.
From the Ultimate Fighter, yeah.
So I have to ask a question. She made a comment, and
We'll care about
because I just wanted to address because you came up on it and you said that I had no phones. No phones, no social life, no nothing. It's literally y'all here to there.
Yeah.
And she was making comments about, you know, you being missing your first practice, drinking and staying up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning while
Dude,
she's
she-
grinding and practicing
she gets-
2 times a day.
I think Amanda knocked her to a different world in their last fight.
Oh, shit. Because,
I don't know what she's talking about. Like, so we had 2 practices a day.
Agreed.
Right.
Yep.
We can go to both of them if we want, or we don't have to.
Yeah.
At that time, I came from, I trained with my team and we trained once a day.
Okay.
So like building up, like that's not what I knew at that point.
Gotcha.
So I went to my morning training session and then on top of that, again, that iceberg effect. She didn't know shit about me.
Right.
So there were some practices and on top of that, I'm tired or I may have just fought or I have injuries.
Got you.
So I didn't go to some second practices. Drinking,
Understood.
okay, I drank at my world title or my champ party that Tisha just threw me. But before that, I haven't drank for a year and a half. Like I'm not a drinker.
There you go.
So she just finds shit to make it sound good and to just keep yapping, but she really makes herself sound really stupid. I honestly I felt bad for her coming into the house. Didn't know her, didn't know half of the people in there.
Right.
They were bullying the shit out of her, and I'm not about that. I wasn't raised like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was like, okay, for one, I seen her as a person.
Gotcha.
And then for 2, she was a teammate. We were both on team tape.
Got you.
So I was like, all right. So I actually tried to befriend her. And I'll tell you what, after a few days of that shit, I learned real quick her personality. And it was like, listen, again, our personalities don't go together. You stay to your side and I'm gonna stay to mine. And that's where it just came from.
Right.
Because she does this and she acts the way that she does, like, that's where it just kept going and kept building. And then now here we are.
Yeah.
So
13 years later.
Yeah,
waiting
so
for
it's
this.
just been a lot, but I mean, she says shit and I heard her making those comments and it's like, I feel like she's just delusional in her own mind with it, but hey, go ahead.
Right.
Do what you gotta do.
Drank my ass to the world title, I don't know.
Hey, talk your shit. Drake right to the world title. Go ahead, Ty.
So it's I think you know where I'm going. It's been rumored, right, that Amanda Nunes could possibly come out of retirement. Is that a fight you would look forward to?
So I fought Amanda for my first world title. Amanda was obviously at the fight. So Amanda and Nina, her wife, are two of Tisha's best friends.
Okay.
And Amanda and I, we met each other on Invicta. My family's always supported her, and then she's always been there, and we've supported each other's careers.
I see that.
We constantly message each other before fights and, give each other, we wish you great skill or
I heard she drove to your fight.
They
drove.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
and
dope.
then she was
That's
back
dope.
there afterwards, after the fight. There's actually, I posted it on my social media, but there's actually a really powerful picture of me and Mayra are on the ground. I'm on top of her. And then you can see that, but it's focused on behind us.
Yeah.
And it's Amanda and Tisha really focused on us on our fight. It's a super powerful picture. And, she came into the back afterwards. Obviously, all fight week, we were talking with them and stuff.
Yeah.
And then she came into the back while I was getting my shins wrapped. Just from some of the damage. And she's staring at me and I'm like, do you miss this? And she's like, no. And then she told me, she's like, I wouldn't want anybody to have this belt after me except you. Like, you
That's
deserve
dope.
this.
That is dope. Shout out to Amanda Nunes. Nunez? Is Nunez?
Nunez, yeah.
Nunez. Shout out to Amanda Nunez.
She's
That's
awesome.
dope. That's dope.
But I mean, before that, obviously the first title fight and everything that fell behind it, and her still being there, that was another fight that I wanted. But at this point, where we're at in our careers, in life and stuff, if she was to come back, it's for a different purpose. And it's just obviously we know the behind the scenes things.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's something that absolutely had to happen again, then sure.
But you're here more for support for her if she were to come back.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. That's dope.
I think it goes vice versa.
Vice versa.
And then she also said, if something was to happen, I was happen to lose the belt, or if it ended up in Juliana's hands again, she's going to come back and beat the living shit out of her. So
And
there it is.
We love
So there are some things that keep her motivated and waiting.
And that party
Bring it
gonna be
back to the family.
That party gonna be at Thai house if that happens.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
We're gonna pay for it.
We gonna pay for it.
We might be there. Who
feel
knows?
me?
There you go.
Here we go. We know that you both can only make each other better, and I'm referring to your wife. We know she's.
I was like, who? Who are we talking about?
We're talking about your wife, and we know she's a very talented fighter in her own right.
Very.
How are, if any, disagreements handled as far as with training, with certain fights they think she should take?
Things around the house.
Things around the house. She done ate all the damn cereal, and you done had to, you know what I'm saying?
She's feisty as hell. I'll tell you what.
Nah.
She'll talk all her shit, and she acts all big and bad. And I'm like, all right, we have to train tomorrow and she's just like, I'm not training with you. So, it's interesting. We have a really good balance. I'm actually Tisha's main training partner and help her with everything.
Training the world champion. I mean, how good was it? Training against the world champion.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Desire.
So, as far as our disagreements and stuff, it's, she gets on my damn nerves, I get on her nerves, whatever, and
That's marriage,
we say
man.
some
That's
words
love.
and then we just walk away from each other and then we come back and it's perfectly fine. We had to find a really good balance with our home life and our gym life since we're together 24/7.
Right.
But yeah, just because we're fighters, our disagreements and stuff aren't anything crazy. But before, I think with just Tisha, and maybe one day you guys can talk to her, and she's been pretty open with her upbringing and stuff, but she's had a rough childhood.
To talk to Tisha.
So I think just trauma in her own life before when we first started dating, and if we ever got into an argument and we'd go to the gym, she would almost act afraid of me and was just like, I'm not training with you. And I was like, for what? Whatever happened outside of the gym, that stays at the door, and we're professionals in here.
Right.
And so it was something that she had to really work through.
Okay.
And then there's other times that I just joke with her and I'm like, do you remember that conversation and that argument and how much of a pain in the ass you were? And I go like this and I'm like, I'm gonna mess you up in sparring today.
We
And
about to get this work.
Yeah, we mess with each other, but
Nice.
it's a
good,
good
though.
balance.
No,
That's
that's good that you guys can separate the two. That's huge.
Yeah.
Compartmentalizing is huge. That's your wife at the end of the day. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So
It's
you're not
family.
going in there to kill her, take her head off. You just want to make her better.
Correct.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Correct.
So leaving that at the door, and then not only that, turning it off when you leave the ring or the octagon and then going back home.
Correct.
It's super
tough.
important.
Self-awareness.
But I will tell you, like you
discipline.
said, it's tough. And at the beginning, we were not great at that. We had a really hard time on navigating that because it was just all right. And, I've coached sports. So also coaching athletes, coaching different sports and stuff, like sometimes I get into that coach's mind frame.
Right.
And then she's had me in her corner as her coach.
Dope.
So sometimes like I failed on that part and I would turn into a coach with her as we're driving home or something. She's like, this is not what I want to hear.
Yeah.
And so, neither one of us like navigated that too well at the beginning. It took some practice, it took some time, but we finally figured it out.
Got you.
Hey,
Got you.
time will do that.
Yeah.
Time will do that, definitely.
So, you want to get this next one?
Yeah, I got it. So how is it, aside from the fighting, aside from all of that, how is it just feeling normal, being normal? How's it just being a mom? Like, sometimes for me, just being a dad, it's great. So how's it just be like? I just get to, like while you're relaxing, I'm just mom for this time right now. How is that?
It's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I've wanted kids for a very long time. I initially got frustrated. I was like, all right, I'm 35 and like we just had our daughter, but everything happens for a reason.
Gotcha.
Right.
And I feel like I've truly gotten to live for myself, been able to do a lot of things and like really built a stable platform and everything to start a family.
Right.
So just having to lay around, like, I don't know, man. It like, this world title fight was my first fight having my daughter, and it just like, it's super important, but I feel like for a little while I had this mentality of like, and I think as an athlete, like we all kind of get caught into it. Like,
For sure.
oh, this is like who we are, and
Right,
we're
yeah.
almost defined by the sport we play. And then something goes wrong and like we end up super depressed by it. Like I've learned a different purpose in life, and so there's a different balance. Like I'm truly thankful for the life that I live, the platform, the talents that I have,
Right.
and truly living my dream with that. But now, like, having a lay around, like, it's a different purpose. At the end of the day, like, if I went out there and I was to lose or something happened,
Right.
like, I'm still satisfied with all the things that I've accomplished, but it's not going to define me. Like, I have my daughter, my life doesn't change. Like, I still
Correct.
get to be a mom. I still get to watch her grow and develop.
Yeah.
So it's been different. And now, I was in camp, and Tisha, she held down the fort with it all.
Right.
There's some days I came home so sore that it hurt to even hold her, and she's a tiny little thing.
Right.
But it was just exhausting. And now that I get to play just being mama and hanging out, and I'm with her all day while Tisha's training, like, dude, it's the best thing ever.
Believe
Yeah,
it.
I could only
believe it.
imagine.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Congrats to you on that, man. Seriously.
So is there anything that you can think of that people might not know about you?
I mean, there's a lot that people don't know about me.
Understood.
I'm like, they
If you want to give us that iceberg type of just a little bit, just
I'm like, I've done so many interviews that, I mean, little things come out here and there, but, I don't know.
That's all right.
You'll probably think about it later.
I got a few.
I talked about that.
I got a few. Outside of the UFC, you know what I'm saying? Outside of the UFC, outside of fighting, what are hobbies that Rocky likes to do?
So I grew up being a huge hunter.
Okay, so you got
I
them
love
things.
hunting, fishing, ice climbing, rock climbing.
Oh yeah, you lost me at rock climbing.
I go
You got
whitewater
me.
rafting, snowboarding. We do all kinds of shit. Snowmobiling.
Really outside.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm super outside. I love camping. I love hiking. I like doing 14ers.
14ers, like 14
Hike.
Like
man?
hiking Pikes
Mountain.
Peak, like 14ers.
14er.
14 miles
1,000
No.
feet.
Oh, that
Tisha thought it was 14 miles, but it's actually 14,000 feet
in the air.
in the air.
Oh hell no!
That's
Yeah,
what
you
Pikes
lost me.
Peak is.
I'm an asthmatic. I don't know if I could.
But Colorado, like, we have
Salute to
tons
you.
of them. And
Yeah.
so, like, I actually like conquering those. It's a different challenge. I love spending time with my family. I'm always with family. I like traveling. Now that I'm getting older, I actually like quick trips.
Okay.
Then I
Nice.
want to be back home.
Right.
That is, I love quick trips. Like, I
There
just
and
be
back.
so ready to get back to my bed,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
space. You
Before it was like, we got to go for like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, 5 days max.
Yeah.
I just want to be back home, be back in my
Right.
routine.
Yep.
No, you.
So I'm constantly doing stuff. I don't know.
That's
you,
good.
you lost
a
me.
lot to
You
me.
lost me at the 14ers. Law tried to get me to go on the incline. I said, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Man, I did the incline one time.
Never again.
I was in the U.S. Army. We did it for PT. Never again. I got to the top.
I was at sitcom when they did
I
that.
got lightheaded. My nose started bleeding. I had just got here, so I didn't know about the altitude and things like that. It was rough. I haven't did it since.
When she first got here, you know, being a lovely partner and just challenging her, one of the first hike I ever took her on was Pikes Peak.
Okay.
Made her conquer a 14er.
Wait, you didn't even give her like a warm up or nothing? You just took her?
No.
Oh, that's crazy.
She was like, we get to it.
I mean, we took the Cog Railroad down, so she
crazy.
She technically didn't hike it how I wanted to.
14,000 feet on your first hike is nuts.
And then I took her up the incline. And so now her big thing ever since then is every time she has like athletes come in and come train with her or whatever.
That's dope.
Oh, she takes them up there and she just loves. I have pictures of other athletes like falling down the mountain, sliding all over the place. They're dying. Like, it's great. So it's just like, it's a big running joke. But I mean, the first team I started with, dude, we were crazy on that thing. We would fireman carry each other, and we would like do a certain distance, and then we'd switch, fireman carry, and then switch, and then other ones we would like sprint halfway, and then jog a little bit, and then sprint, and then we all had our gear on our backs.
Right.
And we would get up to the top, and we would sit there and hit mitts, and then we would sprint down the backside. And so like,
that's
I've
another
done
type
that
of
one
training.
too many times. Now when Tisha's like, oh, we gotta go up the incline, I'm like, don't ever mention that word to me again.
That's
Like, I don't want to do it.
That's another type of training, y'all. Did y'all hear that? That's
No,
another
that
type
is-
of training.
For those who
It
are
might
not,
be a little crazy.
yeah, like folks that don't know, like the incline is things that are tourist things when people come to Colorado Springs. They literally look that up on Google Maps and they call it the Stairway to Heaven for a reason. Like it's literally straight up in the air. You got to be a different breed to do this. And you hitting mitts. You hitting mitts and doing all this
It's at the top, and I'm trying to figure out what's the fastest way
How
down.
to get your nose aside.
I'm straight. So, like you said earlier, you're 35 years old.
Yes.
Okay, I'm with you there. I'm 30. I'll be 35 in June.
All right.
And I'm telling you right now, my body is going through things that, and I can only imagine because you fight.
Right.
Like I said, I'm a hooper. I don't do half the shit you be doing.
Right.
So at 35, what's next for Rocky?
Well, right now, I mean, I
She's a
turned
champ.
30. Yeah, I turned 36 in September. So in the meantime, I'm gonna enjoy being the champ. Just hang out with Tisha and help her through her camp.
That's what's up, man.
Right now, I'm working on a bunch of other different aspects of life, more investment stuff. Just kind of
Absolutely.
setting up our future.
Nice.
Even more. I would like to do a little bit more traveling. Currently, I'm just enjoying winter, so snowboarding. I'm just living life right now.
Be careful, please.
But I'll tell you
careful.
what, after 33, I always said, I was like, I see the elderly, I see how they struggle. I'm not going to be that person. I'm an athlete. I'm going to be in shape. I'm going to be great. Yeah, I don't know what happened after 33.
I'm trying to.
Oh
It was
my
like an
gosh.
epiphany.
I just broke.
I'm like, y'all at
Something
28.
said, Dre, sit your ass down
Yeah, I
after
used to be
33.
able to crack my knuckles and go.
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
Wait till y'all hit 40.
No, I'm terrified.
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
now,
you're
I'm
40.
my warm up takes 40 minutes.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's terrible.
That's crazy.
That's
That's
wow.
crazy. That's crazy.
Like, I'm glad you're enjoying life. Seriously.
I want to ask some freestyle questions. I want to know what do you tell young women or anybody really that comes to you, but most importantly, you are representing for the female population in the UFC. You're the face of it because you're the champ. So when young ladies or anybody comes to talk to you about wanting to get into the fight game, what do you tell them?
I tell them that they can do it. If they need to stay true to what's in their heart. They're going to have a lot of hate along the way, not to listen to it. And the biggest thing that I tell everybody is you need to have fun. So, as long as people are doing that, and we all have one life to live.
Right.
And, our lives all look different. You can't tell me how to live my life. I can't tell you how to live yours. But that's why the world is the way it is. Everybody judges each other. But if I just stay true to what's in my heart and I keep doing what I'm doing and I'm passionate about it, I'm maximizing my happiness. I'm achieving things for me.
I know
so
that.
I just
Talk
tell them
about
that.
it. Talk about it. Fellas, is there anything we have that we need to get off our chest?
Man, I can think of so many questions to ask, but I know we're on the time crunch.
Yeah. Is there anything that we super dire need to get off?
Look, I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for
Of course.
everything, man. And
So
By the way, I like that hat.
hey, I had to.
next title appearance. When's the next fight coming up?
I don't have anything currently lined up.
Currently?
So
Okay,
we'll see.
cool.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Okay, no worries. Again, you got one? Go ahead.
Are you a Broncos fan?
Oh, come on. I'm from Colorado. No, I'm just kidding.
No?
I'm more of a college sports.
Nice,
Okay, I like
nice.
I go, like, we went to the Broncos game, but my family and I were super competitive. So we just went to the Broncos game, but because my older cousin is a, like, diehard Broncos fan, my Nino, which is my godfather, he's a Browns fan.
Okay.
He's from Ohio.
Okay, nice.
And since I'm just super competitive with them, I was decked out in Browns gear.
That's dope.
But I will
dope.
always represent Colorado
That's
and,
dope.
you know, root for the
That's
home
dope.
team. So.
Okay.
That's dope. That's dope. We appreciate it. Again, I cannot thank you enough. This is your inaugural guest, Ty. Actually, Ty has something, but we got something for you, and this is coming.
For you.
Yes.
Just a little token of appreciation.
Our appreciation.
Yo.
You are our first guest, and we
right.
couldn't have done this without you.
Dang,
You gotta
I'm
unwrap
You gotta unwrap this on air.
But I'm the
please.
type of guy that likes to look at my thing and see accolades and
Yeah.
stuff. Like that.
So
Don't
please.
We thought
mind
you
the
would like
rapping.
that.
Don't mind.
See?
We tried to, you know.
It's three brothers trying to rap something, so we appreciate it. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going home with more gold.
There you go. We tried, man. We tried.
Presented to Raquel, Rocky Pennington, UFC Bantamweight champion, Toronto, California, or California, shit. Canada, January 2024.
Yes.
You know what's funny is my favorite number is 20,
There you
right?
go.
Yeah.
And then I won the world title.
Nice.
That's
There you go.
crazy.
It was meant to happen. It was meant to be.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
No,
Yeah,
we
that's
appreciate
a
it.
good
We
look.
appreciate
Yeah.
it. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Again, like I said, we cannot thank you enough for coming on our podcast. We're forever indebted to you. You know what I'm saying? You did us a solid. You didn't have to do this. You did this off the love, off the strength. So you got fans for life. Seriously.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Anytime Rocky steps in the ring, it's Team Rocky. They don't give a shit who you fighting.
Right.
So
Right. We'll
with
be
that
there.
being said, you guys know what the deal is. I got my man Merch-in-Law back there on the ones and twos.
What's going on, y'all?
Please like, subscribe. This is one of our best episodes by far.
By far.
Dana White, we tagging you. Anybody else in the UFC, we tagging you. Please like, subscribe, and again, Rocky.
Rocky, clap it up one more time,
thanks,
man.
guys.
Thank you, Rocky.
We out of here. Yeah.
Peace out, baby.